Kwa sasa naarifiwa tuende moja kwa moja katika jumba la KICC, katika ukumbi wa KICC ambapo Rais Uhuru Kenyatta yuko katika kongamano ambalo limekuwa likiendelea na linatarajiwa kukamilika hapo kesho. Kongamano lenyewe linahusisha marais 10 wa mataifa mbalimbali ya Afrika na Pacific. Tupate kusikia ni yapi yanayojiri kwa sasa, kisha tutaendelea na matangazo yetu hapo baadaye.
Post-Cotonou negotiations. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm encouraged that since the last summit and during Papua New Guinea's term in the office of the chair of the summit, the group to the Council of Ministers and our Committee of Ambassadors has worked diligently to ensure that we remain on course to secure a future that speaks to our common dreams and aspirations. This includes, amongst other things, building 3 important foundation pillars of the ACP we want. These are the commencement of the ACP EU post-Cotonou negotiations, the renewal of the Georgetown Agreement, and the establishment of the ACP Endowment Trust Fund, ETF. The group, since the 8th summit, has successfully commenced negotiations in 2018 with our European partners. A future agreement that is not only comprehensive in its coverage, but also binding on parties concerned. It is said, and I verily believe, that the future is only as bright as how we want it to be. In this regard, the work of our negotiation team at ambassadorial and ministerial level must be commended. Their tireless and diligent efforts see us about to reach the finishing line today. However, there remains a few wrinkles, of course, that need ironing out before we can say hooray. We look forward to the progressive report that will be presented during this session on the latest developments and indeed the conclusion and signing of the new partnership agreement in Apia, Samoa in the Pacific. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this session of the summit will also proclaim on 2 important elements that grew out of our common desire to be a part of an organization that is forward-looking, relevant, fit for all purpose, and able to be financially viable in a global context that is constantly evolving. These elements are the revision of the Georgetown Agreement, as I said earlier, and the operationalization of the Endowment and Trust Fund. The Georgetown Agreement of 1975, as we know it, was established to promote and strengthen our unity in the ACP, to consolidate our strengths and maintain peace and stability, to contribute to the development of greater and closer economic ties, political and cultural relations as well, between our states in areas such as trade, communication, science, technology, and research, and education, to name a few. The revised version, I am told, builds on this unique history and the common aspirations of our group. The revised version sets out to revitalize and enable us to be focused, more prudent, decisive, and affirmative in our efforts to face the challenges as well as opportunities that our time offers. It will complement and form the basis of the post-Cotonou partnership agreement that has now been realized. We congratulate the ambassadorial team set up to carry out the review and look forward to receiving the revised Georgetown Agreement document and encourage its support for adoption here. On the Endowment and Trust Fund, the decision to set up this facility and the potential it promises will be a game changer in our respectful view. As much as we appreciate and welcome the continued support of our traditional partners in the European Union, we as the ACP must also be able to help ourselves. In this regard, I am pleased to say that Papua New Guinea pledged an amount of 500,000 euros towards setting up the fund. Not only did we make this pledge, Papua New Guinea has been one of the core members of the working group under the capable leadership of another member state, Cameroon, that assisted in setting up the fund from the conceptual design to its legal structure and current setup. I am therefore pleased to advise that the first 100 euros of the 500 euros that was pledged by my country has been released and will be remitted as soon as details are confirmed. I am confident, therefore, that member states under the able leadership of the incoming chairmanship of the Honorable President Kenyatta will fully operationalize this new fund. My delegation would like to congratulate the working group who was tirelessly working to bring this to fruition and the fund, and we look forward to the leaders to endorse its operationalization at this session of the summit. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to briefly speak on the theme and sub-themes for this important summit. I congratulate Kenya and the organizers for deciding on the topics that will guide and inform our exchanges this afternoon. It is indeed timely. It is also in line with the Waigani Declaration, especially point 80. We all endeavored for a secure, just, and peaceful society for our people to live and to thrive and be able to realize and develop their full potential. Development in its fullest sense requires the right ingredients to flourish, and we as governments must not leave any stones unturned to providing this, including putting in place ACP-led policy frameworks to support our people, especially the marginalized youth and women, with every opportunity to be meaningfully involved in society and in development. We all have an interest in dealing with environmental issues, particularly the threats brought about by climate change. Our countries, whether small island developing states or landlocked or low-lying coastal states, are all threatened by changes in climate disasters that climate and disasters this brings upon us. Extreme weather conditions that we are all too familiar with, all forms, but especially in the form of tropical cyclones, hurricanes, and droughts have been causes of death and destruction to our infrastructure and livelihood of our people. As a group of collective minds, we must have our voices heard in the global community today. There is no denying that our unity in numbers is our biggest strength. The example of ACP Group's leadership in shaping the outcome of the Paris Climate Change Agreement is a notable example of what we can achieve. A prosperous future of our group is our main focus and will continue to be. Trade and investments are critical to economic growth, for they improve income generation and employment for our people. However, the global economy as we see it today is threatened by the prevalence of protectionist trade measures and oftentimes anti-trade rhetoric, decline in investment, and raising inequality. Our challenge is therefore to rise against these trends by boosting trade and investment among our member countries. Intra-ACP cooperation in this regard can aid us tap into the potential that our cooperation in this regard can achieve. Of course, initial attempts at this need to start small, but the spirit and desire to connect with our sub-regions and regions and to expand to the inter-regional level opens up possibilities that will only set us in a good stead. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, by way of concluding, it was indeed an honor for my country to have played a very small part in bringing the ACP group to where we are today. And as we chart our way forward following this summit. Indeed, our presidency was supported in a great way by the able leadership of the Secretary General and his team. As we pass on the baton, we have no doubts that the incoming Secretary General and his management team will build on from where Dr. Gomez and his team will leave behind. Once again, congratulations to the government and the people of Kenya, and we look forward to working under the new presidency of the summit to progress our common aspirations. I thank you all for your attention, and may our deliberations over the next 2 days be fruitful. Thank you.